Hi, I'm comedian Griffin Newman.
And I'm film critic David Sims.
Together we host Blank Check, a movie podcast where we overanalyze directors' complete filmographies.
Steven Spielberg,
George Lucas,
James Cameron,
M. Night Shyamalan,
Christopher Nolan,
the Wachowskis. Each new miniseries, we discuss filmmakers who experience early success and are given a series of blank checks by Hollywood to make their own crazy passion projects.
Now, sometimes those checks clear, and sometimes they bounce, baby!
Subscribe to Blank Check with Griffin and David on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.
Oh, boy. Check. Check. That.
Can you still go? Oh.
Okay.
Wait, why is it not? Uh-oh.
Do it again.
Oh.
No. Okay, hang on. Don't touch anything.
Well, you could have stayed in preview while you...
I don't think you can.
Yeah, you can. I did it. Because I was on...
Hold on. I guess you can.
Aha.
Vindication.
You've been here for a year and a half. I've been here for...
Shut up.
2 seconds.
Okay. I'm still very scared when we do this.
Yeah, I would be too. Yeah.
We're going to start with a phone call.
Where tangents are welcome.
Tangents
this
are welcome.
This is the Sudden Death Podcast.
Tell me, I can do this job. I can do that. Where tangents are welcome.
Yes.
I'm going to do voice work. It's the Sudden Death Podcast. All right. Where Julius has now left the building, but that's not stopping this guy from saying hi to him. Hey, what's your name?
Hi, my name is Jim.
Hey, Jim, what's up?
I'm just calling to say I wanted to wish Julian the best of luck moving forward.
Julian?
Yeah, let me put Julian on. Julian, are you there? Hey,
Wait, where's the...
Hey, how are you?
Hey, machine.
Hey.
Hey, this is me, Julian.
No.
It's nice to finally meet you, Julian. You sound a lot like Zane.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. No, there he is.
No, but I think both parties, Julian and you guys, I think you guys are going to be fine in the long run.
I do too. Julian was great when he was here, and but we've got enough artillery to be able to pull this off. And there's about 1 billion people who want the gig, so who knows where this is going to take us?
Oh yeah, and in the meantime, from us callers, do you want us to call in more with maybe more discussion points? Is there anything we can do to help you guys?
Well, we would always want that, but regardless of who's in here, so whatever stands out to you, if you feel like calling, call.
No, thanks.
You know. Well,
all right. Well, thank you very much.
Well, wait a minute. What part of New York are you listening in?
I'm from upstate, so I'm Q103 area.
Nice. The old stomping ground.
How long have you been listening?
I've been listening I switched over. I converted from the old show about 2 months ago.
Yeah. Now,
okay. So you were just getting to know Julian before you left.
Right.
Did I say Julian when I started?
Oh, many times.
The whole call.
I'm sorry, I meant Julius.
You're nervous, aren't you?
A little bit.
That's okay. Don't worry. Do you still listen to the Twins at all?
Only when I'm driving to work in the morning because the other radio stations suck. And that doesn't really make the drive any better.
I see. Yeah. All right, buddy. Well, I appreciate it. Call anytime.
Well, thank you very much.
Okay, man. Peace.
Did I say Julian?
So, what are your thoughts, Ben? Here we are, the very first official moment.
Yeah.
Where we are down to 2.
Yes.
What do you think? How do you think that went, the 2 days of the goodbye to Julius and where we sit right now? What are your thoughts? I do too.
So, yeah. I mean,
he is not a, hey, I'm leaving type of guy.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that too, and
I don't know the guy. I don't know him at all.
I would be kind of in the same boat as far as like I wouldn't want it to be okay. I put in my resignation Friday, and then Monday we talk about it, and then there's 2 weeks of.
Yeah, I get that.
I wouldn't want that.
I think it was handled appropriately for the amount of time. And I asked him, I said, it's up to you, Julius. I was told by the boss. I go, how do we approach this on the air? She said, that is Julius's decision. So I asked him. And he had preferred the last day,
well,
the
I can
last
see
break.
why. Because you're going to get flooded with tweets and emails and all this stuff. And I don't know. It's kind of weird to deal with, I guess.
Well,
uncomfortable to deal with.
You know, as much as most people wouldn't think about it, despite him hating that, he's been a part of their life.
Yeah.
By his choice to
Right.
be on the radio. And if as long as people keep that in mind when they do the radio show, you have to have that understanding that for some reason people buy what we're selling. And
Yes.
when you commit to that, if you just up and leave, people are left with like, wait a minute. I mean, the one thing about radio that's particularly awesome is the ability to connect with them if you're decent, on a relatable level.
Right.
And as long as you're able to do that, then people will like you.
Yes.
And they'll be interested in you. And that's ultimately what you want.
Yeah.
But what I thought was quite a strange scenario with him is that was the case, but that's never what he wanted, which ultimately makes you a success. So I don't know if Julius ever really wanted anyone to have that connection with him.
Right.
And that's a strange thing because intimate details and just he would be like, oh God, I don't like the fact that they're connecting with me. But that is what you get into the business for, whether it be sports talk or whether it be this type of show. The only way to survive is to have them relate to you.
Yeah.
That is the one thing that gives you the best chance for surviving.
But
if you go on the air and say, "Hey, it's Steven Seagal's birthday today," they can't connect with you if you regurgitate things from show prep. What a person has to do is be able to somehow connect, whether it be on an emotional level, funny, making them think.
Yeah.
And anytime he would do that, he would benefit from it, but he never wanted that. He doesn't want anybody connecting with him.
No, but okay, is it wrong to want the connection but not want, I guess, to know about it? As far as like people reaching out, people talking
Well,
to you.
it's that's okay to feel that way, but you have to be able to accept it, and I think he did when people do reach out to you, because the best thing he did for us was allow us to talk about it and present it in a way that is legit and transparent. And I mean, and I had to talk him into that. I was like, dude, you're going to give us a nice, it'll help us in getting by the fact that you're not here anymore. As much as you don't want to admit it, they like you.
Yeah.
And there are people that didn't like him. I get that. I mean, in his role, there was a lot of people that are happy he's gone.
Right.
So now in the business that I'm in, I want to keep the people that like him on this show.
Yes.
And in order to do that, I needed him to do what we did.
Right.
So that's good for us. Now, the people that don't like him, now I got them too. So we got them all, I hope. Because exactly as it went down is exactly...
well, yeah, I mean, because, who knows? Maybe the people that didn't like him that still listened are going to be like, oh, I missed that part of the show. I miss hate listening or whatever.
Yeah. Now, for us, what you have here is whether it be you and I, me, you, and whoever, you have new dynamics.
Right.
Which the typical listener gives you about 1 minute before they decide whether they like it or not.
Yeah.
That's the nature of the beast. Can you survive that? Because ultimately, I think that whatever we do, we'll be able to establish a chemistry and be able to pick up the pieces and move on. You know, we have the best shot at that with the way it went down this week. I didn't hear it from anybody saying, I won't listen anymore, which is the one thing you don't want to do.
Right.
I take that back. There was one guy on Reddit who was so pissed off at me because I tongue-in-cheek.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, and the way this boiled down, it came out on the air, is when Julius announced that he was leaving on Thursday, on the Reddit thread.
Yeah.
somebody said, "Oh boy, it seems bad for the future of the show," and he was kind of all doom and gloom about it. It was negative. And I talked about it. Seriously, what the hell, man? Is there something going on behind the scenes we don't know about? Like the outlook future of the Eric Zane show is pretty grim.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always thought that Ben was a lot funnier than Julius and hope that he becomes the next main host. But still, wow, man. Why join with Eric if you had thoughts of leaving? Okay, let me pause right there. There wasn't any thoughts.
Right. It's not like he joined a month or 2 months ago and then all of a sudden this came up. It's been almost a year and a half.
He's put in enough time. So that's not valid. That's not valid at all. He says it hasn't even been more than a year and a half, has it? Well, that's how it goes, man. Come on.
Yeah, like a year and a half. That's a long time to think about.
And then dude followed it up with when someone said, I kind of feel like it probably shows the show ain't doing great if he's thinking more about getting another job than waiting for this one to fall apart. The first guy who I just read from then follows up with, right? Especially since he literally has zero plans for the future at this point. I mean, he just resigned from a job that blasted him into the public atmosphere without any idea whatsoever lies ahead for his career. He's thinking about becoming an electrician? What? That kind of takes a lot of time. And considering his job starts so early, he probably could have used the evenings to train, go to classes. So this guy's kind of armchair quarterbacking it. In the end, though, I realize this is literally none of my business, but it just seems kind of weird and really makes me think that Eric Zane show is on its way out the door. Now, that bothered me.
Yeah,
I talked about it on the air. And on the air, I was tongue-in-cheek, and I said, I'm well into the middle of an anxiety attack. You remember that moment?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I didn't indict. I didn't drop the hammer on that guy. I just talked about it. I didn't even read word for word like I just did of what he said. Well, and then he responds with, he edited those posts.
Yeah.
Edit. Hey, thanks for reading my post on the air. I'm pretty aware of, maybe I did read it word for word then.
I don't
think I did, though.
I remember you talking about the anxiety attack, because then I doubled down and said something like how's it going to be over the weekend? Like once he's actually gone.
And I honestly, I'm fine with this. And I even mentioned this before. If you had 1 year ago, Eric, I'd be screwed. But I've learned to cope, and I think that how I do what I do has become leadership-based as opposed to sidekick-based.
Right.
And I will tell you, this is all pull back the curtain stuff on the Sudden Death podcast. That's not easy. For 15, prior to this job, the last time I led was 1998.
And was that, were you alone or were you with somebody?
I was leading, and it was with us. It was in Saginaw after I did the riff, which was I was completely at my wit's end there, and then went back to Saginaw.
You were the poor boy?
This was after Poor Boy,
really?
A year. So I take it back, 1999. So 20 years virtually.
What was the show you were on called?
The Eagle Morning Show.
That's all it was called?
Yep.
You guys didn't have...
No.
Ah.
And I was desperate for a job, and I took it. 3 months later, I left it and went to Knoxville, where I met the twins. And I was producing. I was behind the scenes. I needed that. And I learned a lot. But what I hadn't gotten I lost any chops I would have had at leading a show.
Right.
Now, there were moments when I was with the twins where all of a sudden I realized, hey, I'm talking a lot. There was actually moments on there where we'd be doing a bit, and then I would sit back and go, boy, I sure am dominating this conversation. I should probably, my name's not even on this show. I'm a sidekick for the most part.
Right.
And so, you have to wrap your mind around that role. But then starting here, it was entirely different. And it took a long time to get used to that. That's why I said for 1 year ago, Eric would have struggled with this.
Yeah.
Now, if you weren't here, I could do this show. By myself, I could.
Right.
But you're here, and that makes me very comfortable. Because I have a chemistry with you, and we'll be fine.
Hopefully.
But this guy then continues on with...
just to point out, I know a lot of people that listen to the show that weren't fans of you on the old show, and they like you now because you're different in the leadership role. And they're big fans now.
That's cool.
It's strange, but I mean, it's obviously good.
It's easier to do this. It's much easier. An ensemble cast is hard.
Yeah.
When you don't have to all throw in things to drive